this is going to be a very interesting presentation. It's going to be a Canva toolkit, and it's hands-on. So that's why we asked in registration, we asked people to register for Canva. And if you haven't, it's something that you can do very quickly right now. Just open up a free Canva registration, because we're going to be guided through how to start using Canva, how to use it to do a very effective, attractive promotional flyer for your events. And we see Darwin here. He's visiting us from Panama. So thank you so much for coming all the way from Panama to Canada to talk with us. So this is what we're going to do. I will share his bio here, but I just want you to know that this presentation will be in Spanish, but Merari is an excellent interpreter, so she's going to interpret in English. And I think this is going to be a really great session. So Darwin Erazo, he was born in Panama City to high parents. He's 22 years old. He serves as coordinator of graphic design and production at the Panamanian Adventist Union. He's a collaborator as well in the union's youth and communication departments. Right now, he's completing a degree in architecture at the University of Panama. He serves as president of public campus ministries of the University of Panama and coordinator of university students in the Panamanian Metropolitan Association. Finally, in his church, he holds leadership positions in communications and senior guides. So this is my first time meeting you. Welcome, Darwin. And I just have to say, just from reading his biography, I'm very impressed. He clearly is on fire for God, and he's using his range of talents just to help spread the gospel. So I think we're going to be really blessed this morning. So Merari, yes, I'll hand it over to you and Darwin.
Let me translate something to Darwin. Darwin, you understood what, ¿tú entendiste qué es lo que ella dijo?
Okay, yes, I understand. I know a little bit of English, so I'm going to do my best with all of you. Here in Panama, I don't have too many persons to home to practice here, so my English is not the best. As Pastor Rohan? Rohan, you're pastor?
Yep, he's pastor.
Sí, estoy aquí.
Well, as Rohan says, he already says that if you don't know English, you are going to try your best in front of people. And well, I me anime. How you say?
I am willing to do it in English. Well, una cosa, ella está diciendo que quedó muy impresionada con toda la presentación de tu biografía. So I'm translating to Darwin what Crystal say, and he say that he's willing to try his best with English because he knows and he wants to do it. Okay?
Sí. Darwin, ¿tú quieres entrar en el cielo? ¿Tú necesitas hablar inglés?
Okay. Greetings from Panama, and we are going to have such a great session here. And I'm going to try my best for you to do it in English, but Merari, if you hear that I'm talking Spanish, just translate me. Primero que todo,
first of all,
quiero felicitarlos a todos ustedes.
I want to congratulate you to all of you.
Porque capacitarse es una de las mejores cosas que pueden hacer en estos tiempos.
Because willing to learn, it's the best things you can do.
Y qué mejor forma de hacerlo que conociendo cosas que pueden usar en sus iglesias.
And the best things you can do is using things that you can use at church.
Y yo aprendí todo esto siendo voluntario para la iglesia.
And I learned all of this being a volunteer for church.
Y puedo asegurarles que las bendiciones de Dios nunca me han faltado en la casa.
And I can tell you the blessing of God never was less at home.
Y en mi vida.
And in my life.
Así que les invito a seguir aprendiendo más para ayudar a su iglesia.
So I invite you to keep learning to help the church more and more.
Okay. as you see, I am going to talk about a Canva tool. Maybe I don't know if how many of you have tried Canva already. It's a simple tool that can help you making posts, portraits, thumbnails, different things. Canva is free. Canva have some pro features that can help you to improve all of your posts.
Darwin, Crystal asked me, ellos pueden tener una práctica de abrir ahora su Canva y intentar. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you want to say it, or do you want me to say it?
Yes. Let's try right now. We are going to have a practice later. We are going to start saying some points that are very important on the designing for designing a post. But right now you can try to have to get a Canva account. It's free. You can use any of your Gmail accounts, Hotmail, and you can open for free. I'm going to practice with you with a free account too, because I have a pro account. But the idea here is for you to practice with a free account, and you can see that you can make excellent posts only with a free account, because Canva is a very powerful tool that can help you. And yes, somebody wrote in the chat, Canva is free for non-profit organizations. If you have an account of your church, you can try the non-profit organization part of the Canva that can help you to get some of the pro features, and that's going to help you too.
So everybody open the computer, go to canva.com. If you don't have an account, create it, because Darwin wants to practice with you, okay? Darwin, you can keep ahead.
Yes. Maybe we can start with the presentation.
Yes, yeah. While we do the presentation, while Darwin does the presentation, everybody can open an account if you don't have it.
And we are going to try some, we're going to learn some tips that can help you a lot. This is the tips that we share in our Panamanian Union with all of the communicators, all of the social media marketing community managers of the Panamanian Unions, and we have used a lot of this. You can take note of all of these points, and you can take a capture of your screen. But I think I'm going to share with you this presentation for you to have it, so you can practice in your home and to remember some topics that we are going to talk about. First of all, and I would like to emphasize this, first of all, the identity of our church. We have something called the global identity system, and it's very important for you to know what is the global identity system that our church have in all the parts of the world. And you can, as you remember, we have a no logo that we don't use anymore, and that have two colors and have this kind of letters. But right now we are going to use another logo since 2017. We changed the logo form to only one color and different typography. This is one of the most important change that we have in our church, and it's very important for you to know. And like these changes, we have other ones. Este tema de la identidad global solo es por mencionarlo.
This topic of identity is just to mention it.
Porque es parte de un seminario mucho más extensivo.
Because it's part of a seminar too much bigger.
But you can find important information here in identity.adventist.org. And in your case, that you are from the North American division, you can find in nadadventist.org/brand guidelines. And you have all the information about your division and what colors, guidelines, and different, all these kind of tips. Well, ahora sí, vamos a comenzar con la primera parte que es importante.
Now we're going to start with the important thing.
How to make an efficient communication. And let's take note about all these steps. And the first of all, and I always emphasize this one, pray before start. Ustedes van a realizar posts que van a alcanzar personas.
You're gonna do posts and you're gonna reach people.
Y nunca sabemos cuál es el impacto que va a tener en las personas.
And you never know the impact that you can cause in people.
Y qué mejor forma que comenzar todos estos diseños.
And what is the best way to do it is
Orar antes de empezar.
pray before to start.
Poner las cosas en la mano del Señor.
Put the things on God's hand.
Que sea Él el que guíe la imagen, el tema, lo que vayamos a compartir.
So God can guide the topic or whatever we want to share.
Ahora sí, continuando con el siguiente punto.
So we're going to continue with the second point.
Conocer el tema que vamos a transmitir.
We have to know the topic we want to share.
Hay 4 preguntas importantes que siempre nos tenemos que hacer.
There are 4 questions that we have to do.
El para quién, cómo,
For
cuándo
whom,
y el por qué.
how, when, and where.
Y es importante saber el contexto en el que vamos a realizar la publicación.
And it's important to know the context that we have to do the presentation.
Hay algo importante y es que la mente trabaja de forma intuitiva.
So there is something important. The mind works in an intuitive way.
Así que si vemos muchos colores, algo dinámico, sabemos que es para jóvenes.
So if we see so many colors, something dynamic, we know that is for youth people.
Si vemos algo que es un poco más, más, okay. I try to translate in my mind in English how it can sound. But we have different way to show something, and the people can relate this about what is the topic about, only by looking at the first time, and without reading, without trying to understand what is that, you can try to relate what is the topic about, and that's important to put in our publication. There is a phrase that is very essential here: less is more. I always look a lot of posts that people start use Bible verse, and they put the date, they put the time, they put the place, they put an image here, the photo here, and they start putting a lot of things, and then the information lost in some part. Yes, that happened a lot. So let's remember this phrase: less is more, and you can. And you will discover that this is very productive in your post that you are going to create. The third point, creative layout. You have to order all the elements that you're going to put in your post according to importance. For what you want to people look at first, maybe you can put it more bigger. What people want, if the other kind of information, you can put it in other way to people to understand clearly. It's important to order the information visually. We say a lot that people look at first what is more bigger, and then continue to from bigger to all that things that are more tiny. That's a way to understand how you can put on order all of your elements in your post. The other point, I'm going to advance more quickly. You have to use coherence and contrast. What is this? You have to take care of the letters and the colors that you're going to use, because I look a lot of publications that persons use dark letters in front of a dark background, and some letters get lost and you can read very clearly what you are going to try to say. You have to keep the contrast and the coherence of the image in each part, and I want to share with you the rule of 3. I named this the rule of 3. When you are going to use some letters, letter fonts, some colors, try to use only 3 typographies, 3 colors, and 3 elements. Elements can be these shapes that can que pueden acompañar la imagen.
The elements can accompany the image.
Okay. Y que es mejor usar solamente 3 de cada una de estas cosas.
And it's better to use 3 of these things.
Hay algo que enseñamos con el círculo cromático que puede ayudarles para los colores.
So with something that we teach with the chromatic circle that we can teach you how to use the colors.
is to keep the balance between colors and letter fonts, and with a chromatic circle, you can use this kind of complementary colors and to use 2 colors, 3 colors, and maybe use analogous colors. And this is an interesting way to use the chromatic circle for you to understand which color combined with the other color. Let's now talk about the theme look. And the theme look is very important because if you are doing a post campaign, you have to try to keep the theme look the same way with all your posts. In that way, you are going to pueden lograr que las personas identifiquen.
You can reach people to identify if you keep the kind of the same design on your post.
Y aquí les quiero mostrar unos ejemplos de cosas que hemos realizado.
And I want to show you some examples that Panamanian Union has did.
Pueden ver que en los posts cuadrados tienen la misma idea de las historias.
You can see in the square post has the same idea.
And with the histories, with the portraits, with the thumbnails, all we create like a language for our post campaign. And we keep that in each of the posts that we are going to start doing about all these events. And a great example is our events. You can see that we have a first poster, and then we have the complementary posters that are in the individually posters of each of the speakers. And you can say that they keep the image, they keep the theme look, using these circles, using the same colors, the same letter fonts. They order the elements different, but you can see that you can see clearly that it's part of the same event. So this is something important to keep. Now I'm going to share you with the resources, what pages you can use in the internet to get more things. To download icons and images, you can use FreePic and Pixabay. These are very good pages to download images, to download wallpapers, to download videos. If you like to produce videos, you can use Pixabay, and they have these free videos that can help you with all of your postings. And for download letter fonts, you can use that font and font zone. These are free letter fonts. Maybe some of one are not complete, but you can use that. In the chat, I see people already know about different pages, and they are going to share with you. And you can use all these pages to help you to make better postings. To download no background images, we call the no background images format as PNG. PNG is the format for icons and elements that doesn't have background, and you can put over some other images. And you can use free PNG. This one is in Spanish, but it's the best. It's one of the best that I know. And you can use another one that is in English, stickpng.com, and you can find other PNG images. Something excellent that the Canva already have it, but we are going to practice with a free account. If you have the pro account, you can use the remove background tool that already Canva have. But in case of you have a free account, you can use the remove.bg page, and you can remove all of the background of the image in a simple way. The other thing is the best thing that you can do for all of your posts is create your own resources. In our pages of the Panamanian Union, we like to take photos to, if we are in an event and we see a hand with a Bible, and we don't lose time and we take a picture of that, because we know that we can use it later. That's the best thing that you can do. Create your own resources in your church with your sisters and brothers. You can start taking big pictures and photos that you can use in your post, and that's the way, the best way that you can afford a good post. The other thing, the social media. What tips can we use when we are going to post in the social media? The first one is the description. We have to take care of the spelling, and this is something that we have to emphasize a lot. the spelling because I see a lot of things. Well, maybe in Spanish we have a lot of problem with that. I don't know English, but you have to take care of the spelling. The second thing, you have to try to put the most important text in your first two rows. If you use Instagram, you can see that only the description, and you have to press a button to see all the description completely. If you don't press that, you only see like the two first row in the description, and that's a way that you can catch the attention of your audience. You can use emojis. That's very good for postings. And the last thing, make use of hashtags. In the hashtags, try to use all the most featured hashtags that social media have. Don't no se emocionen mucho usando hashtags.
Don't get excited too much using hashtags.
Porque hay muchas personas colocan hasta 20 hashtags.
Because some people write or type like, how many you say? ¿Cuántos dijiste?
20.
Like 20 hashtags.
You can use only 3 hashtags. That's a good number of hashtags. I hear from one of our social media directors in our division that the best way you can achieve more people and the ways to complete your post, you can use only like 3. Remember that the rule of 3. You can use only 3 hashtags, and that's a good example of what you can do with your post. The other thing, use the interactions that already the social media has. I like to use in the histories these stickers that you can press, and you can see music, the hashtag, and you can make polls. And that's good for the people to interact with them, because if you see that, es como muy difícil evitar tocarlo.
It's so difficult to try to touch it.
No, to avoid to touch it. Avoid. Okay.
To avoid to touch it.
It's very difficult to avoid to touch it. So the people, when they see that, you catch the attention of the person, and it's a way that they can see pay more attention to your posting. The other thing, with your church and with your division, try to promote the official events that you have in your union, in your division, and from the general conference. And we like to emphasize this in our union, and I share that with you. It's very important to promote the official events that we have in our church. This is a way that we can help us to reach more people by sharing our official events. And the other thing, the post planning. You have to plan very good what you're going to share, because that thing that you wait the last day before the event and you start post about that, that's not good. That's a big mistake. And you have to remember this phrase, to create expectations. You have to create expectation in the people. To promote early, prepare publication for different networks and sites. This is something that we are going to talk later. And use countdowns. We like to use the countdowns that, how you say, faltan 5 días para el evento.
So it's really good to do countdown, like saying it's 5 days to the event.
4 días, faltan 3 días.
It's in 4 days, in 3 days, like to be announcing any event that we have.
And maybe you can start a month early. Like it's,
I forgot it. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you can start a month later, a week later. You have to create expectation, and you have to say to the people that here is an event that is coming, and you have to make them, tienen que emocionarlos a participar.
You have to get them excited to participate.
Here is an example of a posting grid. This is the posting grid that we use in our union. This is only for us to have a guideline or about what we are going to post. We put here the post image, and we add here the date and the time that we are going to post that image. We give it a title, but well, this is only for us, a title, just for identify the name of the archivo.
The name, let's say the picture that you're gonna use in the post, or
Yes, the name of the
name of the design that you're doing, right?
the way that you save it in your computer is just that's a way to identify the image and the description. We write previously the description is not like we are going to post and we start thinking in that moment what we are going to put in the description. No, we have to think very early what we are going to put in that post. And the other thing is you can follow and tag in your post official networks of the union, division, or general conference. This is very good because we see that these community managers of all of the or church accounts, they like to share what the post that you tag them. It's a way that you can promote your event more bigger and you can reach more people by using all of the other accounts. And it's very important. In this way, you can see the important events that you have in your union and your division, and you can share more better what you are going to post. And the last thing I'm going to share with you this verse, Mark 5:20. So the man went away and began to proclaim in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. Now is our moment. It's our moment to proclaim online. And we have to share with Jesus, with all the people, what Jesus is making with us, what the blessings that we are receiving from Him. The events that we are going to do is our guide with the hand of Jesus, and we have to proclaim that. This is a better way that we can improve our abilities, that we can improve our design abilities. In the next post that we are going to lay, and you are going to see that you are going to get better and better in the way you start posting, you start creating, and you start practicing with all of these tools. Because Canva is not the only tool, but it's a simple tool that we are going to start practice right now. So I'm going to share to close this. As you see before, all of this I made it in Canva. You can see all these elements. I got it from Canva. All these letters, all these lines, all these colors, all of these made it on Canva. This is Canva. I'm using a pro account. I'm going to close this one and I'm going to use, sorry for my screen is all in Spanish. I try to put it in English for you to look much better, the elements, but I'm going to open my own account. That is a free account because I made it with my Gmail account. And the first of all, you can see that Canva provides us the size of the post that we are going to do. It's very simple. If you are going to do a post, an Instagram post, you can click here, Instagram post, and you can write on the search button what you want. If you are going to make a post for Facebook, a portrait for YouTube, because you can do it on Canva, these posters, I'm going to close it. These posters for your YouTube account. If your church have a YouTube channel, you can create these posters on Canva with pages with your church page on Facebook. You can create this portrait for each person to see. All of these are made in Canva, and you can see that it's very useful for all this kind of stuff. Let's try an example. Let's write Instagram. You can find that this is a lot of things of Instagram, the Instagram story, Instagram post, and you can do videos, reels, with letters. You can put movements with Canva, but we are going to practice with a post of Instagram. And let's click there, Canva to give you some templates that you can use to make it more faster and much better. But as I said before, we are going to start practice from scratch, and we're going to do it in a blank space, and we are going to start choosing what we are going to do. I'm going to apply something easy. I'm going to show you an example. This is one of the posts of our Inter-American division, and you can see this is very simple, but it's very pretty. You can see it and look very great with with minimal elements. As I said before, less is more. They put here the logo and hashtags and text, and we are going to try to replicate that. First of all, we have this sidebar that have all the elements that we are going to use. For example, we can write here and on photos, let's write something like yellow. I'm going to use a yellow background, and you can see that these ones are for it's a pro feature, so I can't use it right now, but I have these ones that already look great. I only click on that and it's immediately added to your post, and you can delete it, or you can click and drag to the center, and you already see that it put it in your background immediately. Well, we have our yellow background. We can use the element part, and we can write here some lines. Maybe right line. We can see that we have different things that we can use here. Oh, this one. Well, it's yellow, but some of these elements I can change the color, like this one. This one I can put in white. Here, something like this. I'm going to scale this and put it like here. Now I'm going to use some elements. I'm going to write cloud, maybe to find what kind of cloud we have here. Oh, we have this one. I'm going to scale this from the center. Maybe I can use this element and give it a little transparency. Here we have these elements. So, well, this is like very fast, but I'm going to start telling you which kind of tools we have when we click on an element. When I click something, I can edit the image. I can put it. I can rotate it in the way I want. I can change the opacity. I can block, lock it. Because if I like in the way I put it here, and I don't want it to move around by moving other things, I lock it, and it's not going to move anymore. Maybe unless I click here again, and I can move it again. It's something useful that you are going to you can practice. Well, we have this cloud here, and we say that we want to make it like a pose. I'm going to scale this more. It's just about time. It's spending time. It's just about spend practice and start trying new things. There's something that I like to do. I'm going to click here on text, and I'm going to add a text. But let's make this a Happy Sabbath post, and let's write Happy Sabbath. Happy. I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to add another one to say Sabbath. Well, Sabbath is with 2B, no?
Yes.
Okay, let's leave this here. And with the letters, we have different options. We can change the color. This is very intuitive. You don't have to know too much things. It's just for practice. Start trying the tools and try to what this do, what this thing do. You have to practice with yourself by yourself. Let's use here in effects the shadows, and we can change the shadow. We can change the direction of the shadow. We can separate the shadow more, diffuse the shadow. Let's put some transparency. Look, and you can see that slowly you start have a different look of the letters. It's not just a black letter, it's a white letter with a shadow and have some other things. With this, I'm going to give you this file in a drive, and you will find here the letter fonts of the church. You can find here the logo, the I Will Go logo, some of the logo of the SDA. I'm going to share this with you because I like for you to, because it's very difficult. Well, I usually help on the youth department, so I have a lot of the youth logos. Sorry for the other departments of the church, but I'm going to share this with you because it's very difficult to find this logo in a very high quality definition on the internet. and you are not going to have this problem anymore with this file. Another gift that is going to help you a lot, and this is very interesting. We have the SDA logo. It's in white. Maybe you can see it clear here. Two of these files are PNG images that don't have background, but the other two as SVG. This kind of extension of format, you can change the color in Canva. If you download it and then you came here in Canva, you can see here that you can add your own pictures, your own photos. You can search on your computer the thing that you already downloaded, you can add it to your Canva. So I'm going to add the church logos, the SVG, this format, and the interesting thing of this is the logo of the Adventist Church. It's in white, but this logo you can change the color. Maybe you have a lot of problem by working with the SDA logo in different colors, and with this you're not going to have that problem anymore. You can change these colors. This is a very useful file format, and I'm going to leave it in white for this post. So right now you can see that this is a way that you can try to start posting. I'm going to change this letter by only outline letters. I'm going to add some effects. I can use two effects at the same time. That's a little problem that I have Canva, but it's not something that I have to worry about. And I'm going to leave this there. Okay, this is a simple way to make a fast post on Canva. This is very simple, but if you spend time looking, you can achieve other different ways to put the information, to put the text. This is something that I liked. I'm going to try this very quickly. How you make this kind of effect with the letter. You see that the Bible of the kid is in front of the letter. How you can do that? Well, that's very simple. I'm going to use the page that I showed you before, the remove.background. I'm going to look for the image I'm going to use. I'm going to drag it and drop it here. And then you can see that very quickly the page removes the background of this mountain. I'm not going to download it. Then I came back to Canva. I add another page. I can drag the photo that I already downloaded, and I'm going to add the original photo too here. And then I'm going to drag it and drop it here, the mountain with the background, and I'm going to add to the mountain without the background. I'm going to scale this, and I'm going to try to put it in the center, right here. So, okay, I'm going to if you make a mistake, you can forward or reward, is how it's said in English, to undo or redo the things that you do. Then I'm going to add the text. I'm going to use this same text. I'm going to copy. You can click and copy, right click and copy, and then right click here and paste. Okay, sorry. Canva is a little tricky sometimes, so let's use the Command C and then Command X, Command V. Okay, this is what I was talking about before. I'm going to use this position tool. I'm going to put it back. I'm going to move it back, and right now the text, this text is at the back of the mountain. This is the way we do this kind of effect. I'm going to move this, and I'm going to move the letter here, backward the mountain, and then I'm going to click the mountain and move the mountain in front, and you can get this kind of effect in a simple way. This is the same steps that you can follow to achieve this kind of images. You can remove an element that is in the image clearly. with this page that work very good, but Canva already have this feature with the pro account. I'm going to use another photo. Merari, sorry, I'm going to use you and drop it here. And you can see that with pictures of a person work very good. As you can see, the photo of Merari already clear all the background in this photo. You can download it, and then you can back to Canva, and you can add that picture to Canva. You can add it in your post, and you can start making all of the promotion that you will do with an event, with a person. It's very simple. The other thing that I want you to show is that in Canva you can make a post with your own, with a personal size. You can put yourself the size. If you know about this, you know that different social media have different size of a picture. In Instagram, a square photo is 1080, 1020, 1080, and 1080 from wide and late. But if I want to make this kind of example, I'm going to show you another example. I don't know how many of you use a lot of Instagram, but you can see that some accounts make this a carousel. It's named a carousel. By the way, this image is due in Canva, and you can see that when I move the image, is continue. Have a continue. You can see that it's not two pictures separate. It's just one picture, but we added like a carousel, and they have this effect of continue. So how I made that? Well, I made that in Canva by in the, how you say, Anju? Hate in the hate.
The white.
Okay, in the white, I put the size of two images. It's like if one image is 1020, well, I put the double.
You double the size.
I double the size. 1020 plus 2 is 2160. So I went to right here, 20x60. And I created the image. And you can see that these have the size of two posts. These have the size of two posts. If you want to make 3 images, well, you make the same process. You make create a new document, and you make the same steps. You have to put the size and plus 3, and you have 3240. So 3240 plus 1080, and I create a design. And then we have like the size of 3 images, and I can use import these elements that have, let's search for this one, a grid, a 3-part grid, and then you can see that here is like a guide that I can use to know where is the separation of each image. And because if I make this kind of post, I have to take care that nothing lost in the middle of the change of the picture. And you can start adding photos, you can start adding your elements. I'm going to copy the things that I already did here, and I paste it here. And then if I want to do it more of these ones, you can duplicate this and put it here. Well, what I want to show you here, if I download this image already in this way, let's download it as an image. Yeah, the Canva is downloading right now my image. I can use another page named this one, post Chrome. There's a lot of pages that can help you with this. And I'm going to drop the image here, and here going to divide this image in 3 parts. So I can have it in 3 different images separately, and then I can post on Instagram and on any social media like a carousel, and I can do this effect here by adding this image in 2 parts. I'm trying to explain this quickly because I know that the time is already past. So let's see some last thing. I want to show you an example of what we can do on Canva with a little of patience, with more time. You can try to use different letter fonts, shadows, elements. Something that we like to do is to take a picture of the Zoom meeting and add it in the post and say happy week, happy Sabbath, something that we like to share photo of our youngs, because in that way they help us to promote the image and we can reach more people, because if they see themselves in a picture, they like it and they want to share with more youngs, and we can see how many people we can reach with only one post. Well, all of these images, these pictures, all of these do it in Canva. You can see that all are simple elements that we can find on Canva, and it's just to practice, it's just to have to spend time. Patience. I repeat a lot this word patience. You have to have a lot of patience by doing this post, because if you spend more time with them and you spend more practice and you keep practicing, you can get this post that look like if I am a graphic designer, an expert graphic designer with a pro program, but it's not. It's just Canva. But I use my imagination, I use my time, and I start looking for elements, looking for images, and try to colors, letters, and get these results. So this is the example that I want to share you. All the things well, this is the important pages that I can share you for you to understand. So if we have more time, I can show you step by step how we can get a post, best creations in a better way. So, well, maybe I can finish here. Well, I'm going to share you this drive where you can find the letter fonts, the logos, a video that can show you about the identity of our church. I'm going to add here the presentation for you to have it, and you can remember each of the steps. Remember, the most important of that, pray, because we are going to reach a lot of people with this post, and it's very important to put all of this work in the hands of our Lord.
I just want to say thank you so much, Darwin. I've been using Canva for a couple of years, and I thought, okay, I have some idea of how to use it, but you've just blown my mind with the tips that you shared, especially the creating a continuous image. I never thought it would be as easy as, multiplying the typical, 1080 size for, the number of, I guess, squares that you want to fill. So thank you very much. And I can see from the chat that a lot of people are just really grateful for what you shared. Also about social media, the importance of preparation and having a plan before you even start to design or write a description. And of course, praying, because everything that you're doing is for God's glory. So definitely pray before you start. So it's been really great. Now I'm just going to ask a few questions that have already come in. And that is, can you just give us, so, you talked about how to do a flyer or a, like a social media post, like an Instagram post, actually. So can you just tell us some other things that you can use Canva for, from your experience?
Well, something else, I see some accounts like to do like a grid of pictures, something that is like different pictures posed in order, and when you enter in the account, you can see, I'm trying to find an example. Well, maybe this page have it in the portrait of the page, something like that. Maybe you can see here how you say this, a mosaic. Maybe this is something that you can do. Well, I don't know if the question is about what else you can do, or what, how about other tips of how to share. But well, something creative, you can do these mosaics. for your pages. It's very interesting for people to enter and they see an image more bigger in different parts. It's something interesting. You can find different ways, different creative ways to how to share it.
Okay, so I'm seeing some other responses in the chat. You could also use it for presentations, for funeral programs, church bulletins, website pages.
Okay, yes.
That kind of thing.
Okay, talking about Canva, you can find here a lot of things. If maybe the first step is to know the size. If you are going to make a program that you are going to print, and maybe you have to know that you are going to use a letter size pages, and you can find here like writing letter invitation. Let's find letter in Spanish.
Darwin, another question. How long you've been doing this?
How long I've been doing this? Oh, well, like
designing and using Canva, I guess.
Well, maybe like 5 years, I think so.
5?
Well, in my life as a designer, I have like 5 years doing this, and the first time I started doing for the church, and I keep in that way as a volunteer. As you can see in my
now it's
I write
Panamanian Union graphic designer.
Yes, Jesus have guided my life in this way, and I like to help my church in all the things that we do. Most of my part is mostly on the youth department. And right now we have this com team. It's named com team, and it's a group of volunteer teams that like to help in the church programs. And with this group, we like this is something that I can share with you and try to form your teenagers in your church, to invite them to help in these programs and make teams for them to start posting on your church, help in each kind of project that you're going to do in each event. And you can see that if they get involved in this kind of projects, they're going to start helping more in the church, and they are going to improve their ability too, because the best thing that you can do is help in the church. You are made for the Lord of Jesus and the love that we have for our church, and in that way, Jesus is going to bless in all of our abilities by dándolos para el servicio del Señor, pues.
Giving it to the service of God. And I think this is the moment that church has to open the department of social media, right? To keep putting volunteers.
Okay, thank you so much. So just a few more questions. How can you ensure that you get the correct brand colors on Canva?
I think the question is how they can know how to combine the colors, but I think it depends to the audience that they want the post, right?
Yes.
If
there's something called the psychology of the color, and each color in the world of design have a specific topic. Have a specific expression. You see, the red is used on sports, the orange is used for teenage events, the blue is used for some for like an empresarial thing look. Different thing of that. I can give you an example. Adobe Color. This is a page that can help you a lot. Adobe Color is a page where you can find different combination of colors. If you like to find different ways to complement the colors, this is something interesting. You can move here, you can click here, and you can find different combinations. This is something interesting. Maybe in the you can explore different combinations that already exist. You can find here different things. Maybe you can find here on feature combinations. Well, maybe this not by this one. Well, we have you have to get session here to sign up. But well, you can find in the internet. If you write like you want to use orange combinations. And the internet have a lot of things. you can replicate all of these looks. You can find these color palettes that already exist with different combinations. And you can find the way the relate more with your event. We have these palette colors can help you a lot, but it's something that you have to practice. It's something that you have to explore by yourself and try new things. As you can see in my presentation before, I show you an example
and
Darwin,
of the event. And Darwin, and the rule, as you say, using less is more, like 3 colors, try to play and find
that's
the
very
3.
important. Some persons like to make a rainbow in your in their post. That's not bad, but it's not good too. The best way to get a great post is by using less colors, only like 3, or as I mentioned before, and can help you a lot. And you can see that many of the posts of the recognized marks don't use too much color. They use like only 1 color, and that's enough for them to have such great information and posts that they do. I see a raised hand.
Yeah, thank you so much, Darwin, for the presentation. It's commendable. My question: how can you, for the copyright, if you are taking pictures from Canva or whatever, so is there rules and regulations where there are some pictures are copyright and then some are not?
Okay, that's a great question. Well, that's maybe a whole world of topic about the copyright elements and a lot of things. But I mentioned before some page like Pixabay. Somebody wrote on chat, Pexels is another page that you can use, but Pixabay, you can see here, well, it's in Spanish, but I can translate it, I don't know, maybe here, I can, okay. Well, you can see, if you open this page that is in English, you can see that are a bank of images that are free to use. Maybe not for commercial purpose, but we know that the things that we do with the church are not commercial, that are non-profit, are non-profit activities. So we can use we can use these images with a lot of freedom. You can find here,
Darwin, in case someone did like a thumbnail for YouTube, they cannot monetize the video.
Something like that. Yes, that kind of stuff. For that reason, I emphasize a part that says create your own resources. You can use your own pictures, your own photos from your church, from your friends, from your families, and you can use it. It's a much better way to promote your post. But in case you use these images, this bank of images, you can use it with freedom, because they are made for a free license use. Like you can make your post with any problem with each of these images, and the images that Canva provide you are images that already Canva have for you to use. So you are going to have any problem with that.
Okay, thanks very much. So a question came in: does Canva offer corporate accounts, I believe it is, with multiple users? And I'll just answer that quickly. Yes, if you have Canva for professional, then you can add multiple users. Another is, and I'll throw this to Darwin. So do you see any benefit, or is there any difference really between using the Canva app on your tablet or phone versus on your computer?
Well, maybe the user experience can change a little, because I think it's more easy to work on a computer because you have a wide screen. You can use your mouse if you use mouse, and in tablet and in cell phone you have the same features, and that with Canva doesn't change too much. But it's going to be a little tricky to work with your finger, and just like that, I try Canva with computer and in tablet, and and cell phone, and I don't see too much difference, just for things that you can do on your computer, like commands, and you can say that with your keyboard. I like to use commands like Control X, Control C to copy and to paste, different commands to duplicate the image very quickly, something like that. But it's just like the user experience that can change a little bit.
Okay, great answer. So do we have any other questions? I don't see any, but I will allow for maybe one more question and then we'll wrap up.
Yes, thank you so much. We know what will be your recommendation, because sometimes you use your cell phone to do a post, but when you transfer that to your computer, the image is different because you don't have the same quality of image that you have from your cell phone to your computer, or from your computer to your phone. So what will be the recommendation? Because you might have something on your phone, you want to put it on the computer, but when you transfer that to your computer, and it's a different ball games of image or setup.
Well, my recommendation, you can use Canva in the way you feel more comfortable. I have friends here in the union that work Canva in their cell phones, and I don't know how they do that, but I only see the finger moving and they tap very quickly and they move the elements, the letter, and they have that ability because they practice a lot in the cell phone. As you can see, these pages, the most part that I can say that 90% of these images are made from Canva in cell phone. And that's interesting because that person have a lot of practice with Canva in this cell phone. In my way, in my experience, I like more Canva on a computer, but that's maybe can be my recommendation. In the way you feel more comfortable and the tool that you use more frequently, you're going to have, you're going to make it better. The post, but well, in my case, I can recommend you to use on the computer. I find it's more easy and more comfortable with the keyboard and the mouse. But yes, it's just a thing that you have to practice a lot and see what you can use much better to do a post using Canvas.
Okay, I just want to share a comment here. What was it? It said the information is breathtaking. Great presentation. God bless you so much. Wonderful tips. So just wanted to share that with you.
Thanks.
And we'll have our final question from Apoku.
Hi there. Yeah, thanks for the presentation, Darwin. This was fantastic. Yeah, I had asked this question in the chat there about bulletins, and I did actually mean e-bulletins. I think the paper stuff sort of out the window these days, right? But we want to revamp it, something that's eye-catching. Can you provide some insight as to what that could look like, or maybe some examples you can share if you have any?
I'm not sure how you can find it here, but it's something like this. In Spanish, I call it panfleto. You can find different templates here. Maybe a recommendation about the design, try to use one help you with the print in the moment that you're going to print, because I see some shirts that like to use like a bright paper, and they don't need a lot of design. They don't need backgrounds. They don't need colors because it's like the paper itself is the background, and you only have to add some elements like lines and text and something easy. And try to use letters that are easy to read, because the other thing that I see, I find a cool letter font that have too much curves, and it's very funny and it's very impact the letter, the typography of the letter. But maybe another person is not going to understand very well the text, and it's not very easy to read. try to use the kind of letter fonts that are easy for each person to read, because maybe a kid read in a way different from an old person. And that's something to keep in mind, that you can have to try some letter fonts that are easy for a person to read. And maybe you can see if you have to take a decision if you want to use a special kind of paper, or you want to print a full color page with your own design. It's something to choose which kind of presentation I want to give to the paper, and it's something to care about. And well, in Canva you can find a lot of templates to make that kind of bulletins. It's just to spend a little of time by searching and look what kind of presentation we have, or you can do it from scratch. You put the size of the page, and you start it from zero to add each kind of the elements that you want to use.
And just a quick follow up to that, what would you recommend, like as a delivery method? So, do you recommend it just, people download it, or is there like a link that it sends you? Because, for example, the Bible app has an area where you can essentially kind of create some type of a digital bulletin almost, so you can send a link to it. Well, but I also I try to think about some of my older, older congregants, right? That the less actions that have to happen, the better for them, right? If it has to go from page to page to page. So would you recommend, like maybe a PDF or a downloadable image, or a link to somewhere else to get the best effect? If that's, hopefully that question makes sense.
I never think about it. Maybe this is about another kind of seminar, or another kind of topic, the question, but maybe something about testing in your church. What is going to be the reaction of the people? If maybe the youngs like to have everything in your cell phone right now, but as you say, old people like to have it in physical. It's just about testing, and maybe it's a most bigger topic to talk about later.
Right. Okay. Thank you, though. This is really good.
I think it's separating groups, right? Whoever wants to get the bulletin print, and for the youth, what you can do it, just there is a good app that we use in every youth congress that maybe every youth will love to have, to see the programs and everything there. Right, Darwin?
Yes.
What is it called?
I don't have it right now because I had some issues with my phone. I had to reset everything. But when I found out the name, I will send it to Crystal so she can send with all the presentation, whatever she wants to send to all of you. Okay?
That'd be great. Thank you.
And
I can speak to that bulletin issue. We provide our bulletin online every week, and coming out of the situation where we're doing paper bulletins, we were using Word to create our bulletins prior to the pandemic. So basically we had our administrator generate the bulletin in PDF, and we just posted that on our website. So we post that on our website every week. However, when it comes on to bulletins and the tie into Canva, you could obviously use Canva to create your bulletin almost the same as how you have it now, and generate the PDF from Canva, because Canva has the ability to create PDF. Now, on top of that, in terms of the delivery mechanism, a lot of people who are using email systems like Benchmark to send out emails to their members, you could basically, if you're able to create the JPEG file or PNG file or PDF, you can actually send out your bulletin as a message via WhatsApp or their messaging solution using Benchmark or one of those email solutions that you use to communicate with our members. So I go to the Ajax Seventh-day Adventist Community Church. We both use Benchmark to send out communications. So we use Canva to send out specific notices to programming that we have. So for instance, let's say we had an evangelistic series, we would be using Canva to send out every day's topic. And there would be like a new graphic for the topic every day. So we did a series in May, and we created Canva graphics for every sermon topic, and then we sent those out. And that was on top of our weekly bulletin that we send out, which is, I believe, currently generated in Word, and we just save it as PDF. So to what Darwin, which I think he's done a great job to bring some new ideas in terms of using Canva, you could basically create your bulletin in Canva, save it as a PDF if you want, save it as a JPEG as you want. It's really flexible that way. On top of that, in terms of the royalty-free graphics that are in Canva, especially the pro version, they have millions of images that are royalty-free. So as a result, you don't have to spend your time looking at all these websites. Canva has it all there. To be honest with you, the $15 a month or whatever they charge monthly is worth it just on the royalty-free images alone. So the other thing with Canva, as they've said, is it's collaborative. So basically multiple people in your church can work on the same image. So let's say you have, your administrator, you may have a graphic designer. Both of those people can go into the same account, work on the same Canva image. So you could basically leverage all of the people in your church to really make Canva more effective, which is why I think this session is really good, because it speaks to you have a tool where it's not just what your graphic designer from your church who can access it. Someone else who's from your church can actually download the image and basically send it out. So it really makes it more flexible than other tools. Like I use Photoshop, but when I'm working with my church team, I use Canva because everybody who's on the team can use it. And they all maybe don't have like Photoshop or some of these other tools that require specific licensing for. So yeah, thank you for the session, Darwin, and I appreciate the conference for bringing this.
I appreciate it a lot.
Okay, so we do have to conclude. All good things must come to an end. So we thank you so much, Darwin, and just want to thank you again, and thank you, Murari, for bringing him to us. And just thank you to all the speakers so far, Murari, Rohan, Darwin. It's been really great.